After one of Daredevil's co-workers starts suspecting that he was pretending to be blind so nobody would discover he was a superhero, and begins trying to expose Matt by force in every possible way. Kirsten invites Daredevil on a date with her, where she would stay blindfolded the entire day so Matt could prove that he really knew how blind people lived. And to try to prove that he really was not Daredevil, Matt accepts the invitation. But just to be safe, he decides to call Spider-Man to secretly be their bodyguard that day so he would not need to break his disguise at any moment in case villains attacked. Matt and Kirsten then actually enjoy their blind date quite a lot. But after Kirsten starts a kind of interrogation and asks what Matt's best friend Foggy was like, Matt explains that he did not like Foggy at first, back when they shared an apartment during college. But everything started changing after they both took the class of the great Mr. Nelson, who, despite liking Matt a lot because they both had physical disabilities, hated Foggy with his soul for believing he was just a rich kid who only got into college because of his family's money. And after one day, Foggy arrived at the apartment crying, saying that Mr. Nelson accused him of plagiarism in an essay and got him expelled from college. Matt asked if Foggy had really plagiarized it, but after he swore he did not and Matt knew he wasn't lying because of his heartbeat, Matt personally went to talk to Nelson, asking if he was sure about the plagiarism, and Mr. Nelson said that unfortunately he was, because the copied text belonged to one of his first students from years ago. But from his heartbeat, Matt knew he was actually lying. Daredevil then goes to Foggy, saying he had a plan, and after they suddenly invade one of Professor Nelson's classes together and literally lock the exit with a padlock. Matt declares to the professor that they were interrupting the class to hold a trial and that he would be Foggy's defense attorney. And because the rest of the class pressured him into becoming the jury, Nelson ends up accepting the proposal. Daredevil then starts by saying that the essay Foggy supposedly plagiarized was an old essay from another student that was inside Nelson's own office. And after he asked how Foggy could have plagiarized the text if the essay was still inside the professor's room, Nelson replies that he must have made a copy. Matt quickly says that he checked the customer records of every copy shop in the city, and Foggy never appeared in any of them. Now immediately turning toward the jury, already expecting applause, believing he had won. However, after Nelson says that nowadays the internet existed, and that Foggy probably just found the text online somewhere, Matt is shocked for not thinking about that. But Foggy quickly shouts objection and asks the professor if the stroke that left him using a cane had also caused him to lose movement in his right hand. And as soon as Nelson confirms that it had, and that after that he even proudly learned how to write with his left hand to continue teaching, Foggy then asks how that supposed essay from years ago, written by his student, had notes from him with the exact same handwriting he used nowadays. And Professor Nelson is left speechless, realizing he had been caught in the lie, now quickly telling Matt and Foggy to leave because he was withdrawing the plagiarism accusation, thus finally making Matt and Foggy's friendship truly blossom as they realize they made a good duo. But after even hearing all that story, Kirsten just asks if Foggy knew Matt was Daredevil. Matt just quickly ends the date, saying that Kirsten was hopeless.